Hollywood has always been about stars, new faces, fresh talent, and the promise of discovering the next big name. But lately, many people have started to notice something strange. No matter which movie premiere you watch, which red carpet you scroll past, or which blockbuster gets announced, the same names keep showing up again and again. Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, and a small circle of familiar faces that seem to be everywhere. So the question is simple. Why does Hollywood keep recycling the same stars? And, more importantly, is this a creative choice or a sign of something much bigger happening behind the scenes? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. Studios want safe bets. Big budgets mean big risks, and recognizable faces make marketing easier. A familiar name on a poster instantly tells audiences what kind of movie they're about to see. But this pattern goes much deeper than just money. Hollywood today operates in a very different environment than it did 20 or 30 years ago. Back then, movie studios took more chances. They experimented with unknown actors. They trusted directors to discover new talent. Now, the industry is built around franchises, global releases, and opening weekend numbers. That changes everything. When a studio spends hundreds of millions of dollars on a single film, they don't want surprises. They want predictability. And predictability comes from stars that audiences already recognize. Zendaya isn't just an actress anymore. She is the brand. Timothée Chalamet isn't just a performer. He represents a certain image, a certain audience, and a certain cultural moment. Florence Pugh isn't just talented. She's reliable. Each of these actors brings built-in attention, social media reach, and instant press coverage. But here's the part most people don't think about. It's not just Hollywood choosing these stars. Audiences are choosing them too. Algorithms reward familiarity. Streaming platforms track what people click on, what they finish, and what they and when familiar faces perform better in data, studios follow that signal. Over time, this creates a loop. Studios cast the same stars. Audiences see the same stars. The data confirms the choice. And the cycle repeats. This is how Hollywood slowly narrows its spotlight. Another reason this keeps happening is the collapse of the traditional movie star pipeline. In the past, actors became famous primarily through films. Today, fame comes from everywhere. Social media, television, streaming series, fashion, brand, partnerships. Actors like Zendaya built massive recognition before starring in major films. That makes them incredibly valuable. Hollywood isn't just casting talent anymore. It's casting visibility. That's why newer actors often struggle to break through that. It's not because they aren't talented. It's because they don't come with guaranteed attention. And attention is the most valuable currency in the industry right now. There's also another layer to this. Hollywood has become more global than ever. Movies are no longer made just for one country. They're designed for worldwide audiences. Studios prefer stars who translate internationally. Faces that are recognizable across cultures, names that trend globally, personalities that fit multiple markets. That naturally reduces the number of people who get cast repeatedly. Because once a star proves they work worldwide, studios are reluctant to let go. But this strategy comes at a cost. When the same actors dominate every major project, audiences start to notice. Movies begin to feel similar. Characters blur together, and the sense of discovery slowly disappears. Instead of asking, who is this new actor? People ask, why are they in everything? This creates a strange contradiction. Hollywood wants fresh stories, but it keeps telling them with the same faces. And while that might work in the short term, it risks creative stagnation in the long run. Interestingly, some of the most talked about performances in recent years came from unexpected casting choices. Smaller films, independent projects, streaming releases that took risks. These moments remind audiences that new talent still exists, it just doesn't always get the spotlight. So why doesn't Hollywood change course? Because systems rarely change unless they're forced to. As long as familiar stars continue to generate clicks, views, and revenue, the industry has little incentive to experiment. But change may already be happening quietly. Audiences are becoming more vocal about wanting originality. Streaming platforms are experimenting with new faces, and social media allows talent to break through in ways that didn't exist before. The recycling of stars isn't necessarily permanent. It's a phase driven by risk, data, and global competition. And like all phases in Hollywood, it will eventually shift. The real question isn't whether Hollywood will stop recycling the same stars. The question is, who will be bold enough to introduce the next generation, and when audiences will be ready to embrace them. Because history shows one thing very clearly. Hollywood always finds new stars. It just takes time for the spotlight to move.